Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
El tiempo para la verdad es patrocinado por la Clínica Dental Bernard Fialkov DDS, con especialidades en implantes dentales, láser periodontal, cirugía cosmética. Visítanos en el 5603 de la 214 Street, Bayside, New York, con el teléfono 718-229-3838. Clínica Dental Bernard Fialkov.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on, let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkov, and it's a pleasure to have you all with us again today. We have a very special show that I want to get right to, because in life many times, you know, it's easy to complain. It's easy to feel like we're the victim. But in today's show, we're very lucky to have someone who not only personally made a tremendous impact and has achieved and is still achieving tremendous position for himself, but more importantly, what he's doing around him for his community and for the world. And so, Buddha, if we start putting up his pictures up on the screen, I want to introduce our viewers to our guest tonight, Jean-Paul Laurent, founder of Unspoken Smiles. There you see him at NYU Dental School. He's an award-winning social entrepreneur, holding a master's in public administration for the Columbia School of International and Public Affairs, and is currently enrolled in a Doctor of Education program at the University of Pennsylvania. He's received an honorary doctorate of humane letters from SICA for his extensive philanthropic contributions all across the world. Jean-Paul is a published author and serves as contributing writer for Forbes nonprofit councils. His work has been featured on News 12, Now This, ABC, Good Morning America, Huffington Post, The Griot, and the New York Times. I don't know if there's any other publishing company left. I think he's covered them all. Mr. Laurent has been a frequent speaker at global conferences, colleges, and Fortune 500 companies, and was honored in 2016 with the Presidential Volunteer Service Award from the office of President Barack Obama. Jean-Paul's philanthropic achievements, such as improving the oral health status of over 10,000 children in 9 countries across 4 continents, have garnered recognition from a variety of prestigious organizations, including the most influential people of African descent, Lay's, Thomson Reuters Foundation, Clinton Foundation, Ashoka, New York City Council, New York State Senate, United States State Department, and many others. He is a mission-driven leader, a TEDx lead organizer, and one of the leading global oral health experts of his generation, in consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, and the United Nations Department of Global Communications, UNDGKC. And he helps to monitor and bring about the international agenda for 2030 and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. There you see him with the very children that he's been helping worldwide. There you see him speaking at the United Nations. And Buddha, if we bring him up live, I would like to bid a warm welcome to Mr. Jean-Paul Laurent. Welcome to A Time for Truth show, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Falkia, for the invitation. And also, I'd like to say hello to all your guests that are listening in the United States and around Latin America. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, I think right now you're in Costa Rica, right?
Absolutely. I'm in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, and we are here to bring about changing in this country.
Well, that's beautiful, and I know you have so much to share. I want to get right to it. First, I want the viewers to gain from really your achievements and accomplishments. And so let's first delve with this question. Tell us a little bit about your early years in Haiti and how they helped you to evolve.
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Jean-Paul, and I was born and raised in Haiti. And this is a country known by most as the poorest country in the world. But to me, it's one of the most beautiful countries, and this was the impetus of my greatest work. I grew up in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, and I went to all boys Catholic school in primary school as well as in high school. But it was in high school when I started behaving badly and was able and get kicked out of school because I was a people pleaser. I was always trying to make people happy. And then from that moment, when I got kicked out from one of the best schools in the country, I realized that I needed to change my life. You know, since then, I never got into trouble in the school, but I was always a good student, having good score. So from that moment, I got kicked out in school and was having trouble getting into a new school. I completely changed my life and decided to behave better. And then from there, I was lucky to be able to come to the US in 2004 when at the age of 21 with just a suitcase and a dream to excel. So from there, my life completely changed.
Unbelievable. I mean, so here you come to the United States, you're a young man, you know, you have nothing here. Like, it's an amazing story. What was it like when you first arrived here? What were your thoughts? What was going through your mind?
Well, I mean, it was one of the most interesting moments because, you know, as I was leaving Haiti, the former president was also leaving about the same day. And it was like a very chaotic situation. People couldn't come, and I had to come here on standby. So we waited for the entire day, and we said, we're not going back home. We're going to stay here and sleep at the airport until we get on the plane to New York. So luckily, we were able to get on the latest flight going to US, and we arrived around 11 p.m. at night. And at that time, we called our uncle and say, Uncle, we are here in the United States, come pick us up. So he drove right back to the airport to come get us, you know, without even knowing we were coming. And then 3 days later, one of the greatest things he did for me was to bring me to school to learn English, because when I came here, I didn't speak English at all. And I think I give him a lot of credit for that, because many people coming from my country, when they come to the US, they tend to spend more time having fun and enjoy the country. But he did something for me that was very important, to bring me to school from the very beginning. So that kept my focus going. And then within 1 year, I was able to get enough English to get into community college. And then from that community college, because I was always interested in dentistry, and I had my smile is always something that was like very appealing to a lot of people. And I felt like, you know, this is a profession that I will do very well because it comes natural to me. So from there, I applied to NYU College of Dentistry, dental hygiene program with a bachelor, with the goal to transfer to a dental program as I started there. So luckily, I was able to get in the program, And while I started the program there, I was very happy and everything was going well until the earthquake happened in Haiti. So everything changes from that moment because it was the first time I had to go back to Haiti since moving to the United States. So, looking around, I saw a lot of people were sending help to Haiti. I said to myself, you know what? I'm from that country and I lost a lot of my friends that I went to high school with. I had to do something, but I didn't have the money. I didn't have anything else. The only thing I had was the knowledge that I learned from the dental hygiene program. So I decided to reach out to my boss that I was working uh, in the dental office at that time and started asking for dental supply. They connected me with Henry Shines. So they give me some supplies and I packed them up and say, I'm going to Haiti. So I called my brother who was there at that time and I went to Haiti and we decided to take all the packages that we received from the doctors that were here, including toothbrushes, toothpaste, and preventative care from the boxes from Henry Shine. We took them to a camp near my brother's house. And when I got there, it was the first time I witnessed the real poverty in Haiti because prior to coming to the United States, I never traveled anywhere. Haiti was my only place. It was my home. It was everything I knew. And leaving to a country like United States opened your eyes and your mind to so many things because you get to see different culture. You get to see bigger things like tall buildings that I never got to see in my life. You get to experience all four seasons. So it was like a life-changing moment to witness where I was living and realize like, wow, this was the reality I was in. And I felt like at that moment, there was something higher than myself that was like pushing me towards something that, that I never felt before. So as I
Exactly.
got into the camp, as I
Exactly.
got
That's
into the
that's
camp,
what I was going that's what I was going to ask you, because here you have these goals and you have so much you want to accomplish. So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to make sure we touched upon this. Who were your early mentors or supporters who empowered you during this time?
yes, absolutely. To remember, like when I came to the country, I came with my entire family. So I didn't have my dad or my mom who were already in the U.S. to prepare everything for me, to give me the guidance I needed to excel. So I had to work out on myself to figure out my own way. At the same time, figure out a way to make my parents proud. And then at that time, so I didn't have anyone for guidance because the kind of things that I wanted to do were completely different from people who were from my community, you know, and it was at that time I was introduced to one of my classmates introduced me to my good friend Dr. Sean Shakib. And from that moment on, he welcomed me. He took me under his umbrella and completely saved me and really give me the guidance and the father figure I needed to really excel in the professions that I love so much, and that he was already working because we had the similar upbringing. He came from a different country and he had to do things on his own, and he made it a very successful career and with a high level school. So everything that I accomplished right now, it was always my role model. And I always joke, you got like 10,000 diploma, I'm gonna get 10,000 diploma also. And every sort of level. So yeah.
Very good. Well, you know what? Dr. Shakib is really a prolific human being. You know, he's right now he's president of the New York State Academy of General Dentistry, and he, like you said, he holds so many diplomas, degrees,
Yes.
attorney, dentist,
Yeah.
and He's a great man, and he's been helping with the drug education program that I run also. So I agree with you, and you were very lucky, and we both have been very lucky. So now, so I'm curious. So now you're doing this, and so you see what's going on in your country, and I know that something happened to you at that time, right? You were looking at these kids, and go ahead, go on with your story.
Yes, absolutely. You know, when I was in the camp, the moment they announced our visit, we were flooded with thousands of people, from kids to adult people, because at that time the country was still trying to figure out how to receive AIDS, you know, and for something as basic as oral hygiene kits, the people were in so much need, you know, and I start having like adult showing me like they opening the mouth in terms of like the problems they were facing, and things that I was currently studying in school, I was seeing them live. The old pathology that I was seeing in the books, I was seeing them in person for the first time, you know, in my career. So it was really a trip that benefited me not just personally but also professionally as well. And it was in that moment, by seeing like the how grateful those kids were for just receiving a toothbrush, that I truly find my calling. I say I want to make this my life calling to travel in places like this, not just Haiti but other places as well, to really bring something that I'm really passionate about, which is dental care. And when I returned back, I asked God to really guide me in that decision, because my parents know that I was going to dental school, and then for me to make a different path, it was like a really hard choices that I made. But I truly believe, like right now, I made the correct decisions. And but when I make that decision, I knew I needed to learn the skills. So that's why I went to Columbia University to get my master's in international affairs, to be able to run an effective and efficient organization.
Beautiful. It's amazing. And so then you have a kind of like a motto that you go by, and I'm curious, when you realize this and how you utilized it, but you say that you and I like this, you leverage capitalism to provide for philanthropy and humanitarian endeavor.
Yes, absolutely. One of the other things, so I wear many hats. So I think for me, I'm the perfect person to bring about changes in this field, because not only I have the dental background, but also to my other career, I was able to be in some of the biggest room where some of the biggest discussions are happening around the world. So for me, it was important because oral health is one of the world's most underpublicized health disease. And for me, in order to bring real changes, you have to bring this issue at the highest level of the global platform. And that means inside the United Nations, in Davos, World Economic Forum, and all those major platforms where people are not really paying attention to this problem, to really bring this issue to them, so that way together we can bring us a change to this problem. Because dentists alone cannot solve this problem, because this is a problem that dentists already know, and most of the dental conferences, dentists go there to talk about issues that they already know about. But for me, it was important to bring different voice, different sector, different group of people together that will be able to bring faster changes and get all of them to get engaged. Because dental disease doesn't affect just the mouth, it affects everywhere else in your body. And for us, it was important to, from the very beginning, of designing our model to design a model that includes everyone.
Makes total sense because, it takes a group effort. The world is undergoing so many different crises. It's hard to really just keep it in one sector. And you're right that by unifying, it's to the benefit of all of us because, these are our families and our communities. And, I laud you for what you're doing and what you're going to do. And the fact that you're doing this at the United Nations so that you can reach the world stage. It's so important. And so, I know you started your group. How did you choose the name of the group that you founded?
Yes, absolutely. I think it was a really big challenge, like to really come up with a name that is truly unique. And I know I wanted to have the smiles on it because it's something personal to me. And this is one of the things that people always notice about me. The first thing they notice is my smile. So I really wanted to include smile as part of the program. But and the word unspoken really meant a lot for me because when I look back in Haiti, looking at those kids, despite being in the tragedy that they were in, despite the destructions around them, despite the poverty, despite the hunger, all the problems they were facing, they were still smiling. And for me, that meant a lot because I was expecting them to be sad, to be unhappy, but that propelled me to come up with the name Unspoken because behind each smiles, I wanted to tell an unspoken story, and that's where the name came about.
Beautiful. Well, I want to switch to something totally separate now, and that probably the viewers don't even know, but I know that you actually scored very high in a national, I think it was a national dance contest. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wear many hats. So I'm also a ballroom dancer, and I was competing in a collegiate level for NYU when I started the program, and I ended up being a bronze medalist at the USA Dance Nationals. From there, I participated to many competitions in the country, in Boston, in New York, and still this day I continue to dance and for pleasure, not for competition.
Amazing. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I think you also sing, right?
Yes. So one of the things. So I started my singing career in church. I was a 7-day Adventist, so I was leading some of the groups and also sing solo. And also part of what I'm also doing, we are also working on a musical album to raise awareness about Unspoken Smiles. So the goal is to collaborate with some of the top musicians and to bring some very uplifting song that could really help us bring awareness about social issues. And we're working on this very soon.
That's really, it's so amazing, and how diverse you are. And I wanted to just share something with you for Haiti, because I was in Haiti a few times, one in 2016, another one in 2017. And, I was in Port-au-Prince and went around in that area. I saw the military, I think it was the military hospital they were building, and I met the Prime Minister there, La Fontaine, and
Yeah.
But the thing that I was most taken back on is that here's this country that has tremendous agricultural heritage. It was really, I think, the leading supplier of food in the world a few hundred years ago.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to share with you while we're on the program, because I see how much you do, and we could probably even bring this to the United Nations, there's a new agricultural breakthrough with frequency, which is kind of like music for the plants. And the frequency,
wow.
oh, it's amazing. The plants grow better. And it's interesting because you're so diverse. that, obviously if people can eat better, their oral health will be better, their overall systemic health will be better, because nutrition is so important, so, I look forward to speaking to you more about that. But let me ask you a question, because you do so much, and I know we're getting near the end of the show. As a leader, who you are, what do you most want to be remembered for?
That's a very good question. I think I would love to be remembered as someone who really pass on the knowledge. Because one of the things that I really like is that give a man a fish, or teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And this is exactly what I want to pass on to the people, to the program that I'm doing. It's just that I'm not just teaching people how to take care of our health, but I'm teaching them how to take ownership of their own oral health. So that way they'll be able to manage everything that they have, starting at a very young age. So, and I think that's one of the most powerful things for me, and to be remembered as not as someone who just bring something, but really take into consideration each country's environment, culture, and also take into consideration that the humanized approach to philanthropy.
Very well stated. God bless you for everything you're doing. You do so many things well. It's really a great gift that you've gotten, and it seems like God put you on the earth to do exactly what you're doing. So God bless you that you're actually utilizing your abilities.
Thank you so much. Yes, and I think one of the most important things is just not to just lead, but also to be an example where other people could follow and also bring about the changes together. And I'm truly honored to be able to be invited to your show to tell my story, and hopefully some of the listeners will be excited to learn about my journey, and more importantly, be ready to take action to join us in a bold mission to bring dental care to people in underserved countries everywhere, every day. Thank you.
Absolutely. And before we end, what is your email or website so they can communicate with you?
Yes, to see me, you can check out our website at unspokensmiles.org and info@unspokensmiles.org.
Okay, so unspokensmiles.org. Jean-Paul Laurent, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for the listeners. Please follow us, and looking forward to staying engaging with you.
Absolutely. And we got to, both of us, send a thank you to Dr. Shakib for bringing us all together.
Yes.
We'll have to have a good dinner sometime and all commiserate. And for those of you watching out there, this show, let's look at the life example of Mr. Laurent, who had to start with nothing, not even understanding the language, and could have gone in many different directions. Let's take his life as an example, and we have so much in this world, but we need to have some humanity and heart like he has. Let's apply that. Let's make it a better world. Thank you for being on the show. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but it was a pleasure having you. And for all of you watching, we'll see you again at the next episode of our Time for Truth show.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet